from a freshwater basin to a roaring river, emptying it out into the Pacific Ocean. And that's where I think we're going to get our fish, going towards that rainbow. Okay, I gotta make a fast video, then I got going back. The camera right here, I laid out 5 feet of measuring tape. So I'm going to use a Shimano X-Wing. I'm going to figure what this is going to look like. So at 2 feet, it'll look like that at 2 feet. Now the next one I do is 3 feet. Next one at 4 feet. Finally at 5 feet. This is a Shimano X-Wing. Right now this is at 1 feet. That's 1.5. 2 feet, 2.5, 3 feet, 3.5. That's at 4, 4.5. Okay, this is the new Water Wolf 1.1, the newest innovation for Water Wolf, which is owned by Okuma Fishing. All right, so when you toss the lure camera out, it'll go, normally it would just go straight across the surface, but if you want to get it in a downwards angle, you use these brass ingots which come with the unit. The small one's 9 grams, the medium's 12, the larger one is 15 grams. So if the unit is going like this to the water, if you put the 9 grams, it will have a slight tilt. 12 grams, a medium tilt. 15 grams would be almost facing down. Okay, so it depends on what kind of lure you're using and what kind of reaction you want. So I'm gonna be going for trevallies or fish that are usually mid-water and the bottom. So I'm gonna just want a slight angle like that. So I'm gonna go with the 9 grams. Here, and the way you put that in is on the sleeve here for the camera. There is a rubber receiver. Just push that in all the way in like that, and that's it. Now if you're sensitive to the type of weight you want, meaning you're going to be going shallow water, you may want to take that off. If you're going deep water with no obstructions on the bottom, you may want to go with the medium or heavy one. So let's see what this weighs. We turn on our unit here, weigh that. It says we have 2.93 ounces. All right, so basically this is, the camera is like a lure and you treat it like that. So you make sure that your line weight, your rod, your reel can handle this type of weight, 2.93 ounces. Now, if you want a little bit heavier, you go with heavier. But I'm going to be working with the 2.93, what's here. Thank you. Aloha guys, I'm going to be tying a leader for my water wolf camera. Believe it or not, that's a camera. Looks like a lure, right? But you notice, camera on the end. Okay, so we're going to try some of this Storm Wad-Eye Live Goby, 2.5 inches. Looks pretty cool, you know. Looks like a Goby. Look at that. Looks like a Goby. Should do pretty well. Okay, so this end here is where the lure is going to come out. So around that wire here, I'm just going to make a loop knot, but instead of doing the simple loop knot, I'm going to try a cray loop knot. So what you want to do is give yourself about maybe 4 to 6 inches, tie a simple overhead granny like so. Very simple, right? Cinch it down. Okay, we got our granny. Hold on to it with your fingers, and we're going to hold the loose line next to the granny. See, we're going to pinch it with our fingers here. Put the tag in through this loop. Like so. See, now it's through the loop. Alright. Now we're going to use your tag end. We're going to go around the main line 3 to 4 times. So we're going to go 1, 2, that's 2. Oh shoot, got loose, so we'll go try it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now they've got it around 4 times. Let's see, I'm going to go back through the loop like so. There. Now I'm going to give it roughly about that much room. Just the reason why I make this big is because I want to fit this to it. You'll see why in a moment. Okay, we just put a little lubrication and cinch up. And that's it. See how that's cinched up there? Now, if you want, for just to be overly cautious, you could make a granny knot in your loose tag end. I'll show you why in a moment. See, in the loose tag end, you just make a granny. Pull the granny all the way down so it's almost back to the main knot itself, like that. See that? Look at that. Cut off the excess. And the reason why we did that is just in case that pulls through on a big hit, it won't pull the tag, that little short tag into, it'll stop right there. Now that's kind of an overkill. You don't have to do that, but I just want to show you that you could do it. All right. Now, if you watch my other video, it shows you how far away from the camera we want the lure to come out. It can be any length, but the problem is when you're using something like this that's only 2.5 inches long, the further you get away from the camera, the smaller this would be, and it'd be harder to see the action. Now, if you go out further, it's more chances of catching a fish because you're getting away from this unit. But if you bring it closer, you have a better chance of watching the action, but less chance of getting hit. So we're going to make a couple of these. I'm going to make one at 3 feet and then 2.5. I think roughly that's about the right distance to work with, and I can vary it from there. Okay. So what we're going to do is I got a tape measure on my table here. I'm going to figure out what 8 feet is going to look like. So I'm using some mono on this. I think it's better to use fluorocarbon, but I don't have any 20-pound fluorocarbon right now. So I'm just going to use the mono. So I'm going to measure out right here. I'm going to measure out okay, 36 inches right there. All right, give myself a little bit more room to work with. Cut the line. Okay, I'm right there. That's 36. This is going to be 3 feet. This one here. I'm going to make another one that's going to be 2.5. Okay, this one has the hook going through this already. So we're going to make a simple Palomar. Go through this. Around. Wet it a little. Pull it through. Look at that. Very, very simple Palomar. If you tie this knot properly, it will not break at the knot. It will break somewhere else along the line, but it will not break at the knot. Cut this off. Look at that. Isn't that great? You got yourself a nice little goby. Okay. And on the end of that is the loop. This is what you call the cray loop knot. So the reason why we want it big, like I showed you, okay, this end here will go to the main line. Not sure what type of reel or rod I'm going to use yet, but double this line up. Okay. Pinch it so it's going to have a nice crease in it. There. See, now watch it. Remember, we made that a little bit bigger. The reason why I made it bigger is we want this to fit through it, like so. See? Pull this out, and this is going to be how I'm going to make my preset leaders. See, like this. That's it. So this goes to the main line. When this is going along, is this it'd be pulling like this. Look at that. So this is a 3-footer. See how this works. Thank you. Okay, this is my Waterwolf 1.1 camera. Now, I tried to make almost got washed away in that one. Tried to make a few changes on this one. I added on a heavier ingot weight. I changed it from 9 to 15 grams. And I put on a 1/2 ounce lead egg. So we'll just see if we can cut down on the splashing on the surface on the retrieval. Using my Daiwa Coastal, this is the 11-footer with my Shimano 5000 twin powers with 30-pound Jerry Brown braid. See what happens. Alright, using the Daiwa 11-foot Coastal,
So I found that the best type of retrieve and cast is when the camera equals up to the bottom guide. All right. So we're using my 5,000 twin powers, Shimano twin powers. This is 30-pound braid, Jerry Brown. Toss it out just where, right about there. Yeah, just where the clear water meets the dirty water. And see, I'm just pointing and see how slow my retrieval is. It's because the camera's doing a lot of splashing, and when the whatever fish is attracting the splash, will come up and they'll see the little grub behind. That's what I had a couple of hits and misses, and the last young Trevally I brought in was just doing it just like this. That's it. I'm hooked up to something small, hit just when the camera hit where the mud is entering the ocean, but it is something small. It's not putting up much of a fight, but it's still a hit. Okay. And it's a Papi'o. Woohoo! Got something. Okay, this is a Papi'o, a young Trevally jack. Let's go put him back so he can get bigger. All right. There you go, little guy. Hook up again. Notice right where the freshwater meets the salt, right behind the bar. Feels like another Papi'o. A little bit bigger than the last one. Oh no, not a Papi'o shape. Could it be a barracuda? Maybe a lie? Well, it's a lie. That is a good eating fish, tell you. Woohoo! Got myself a lie. All right. This is a great eating fish. Leatherback scad, known as a lie. Delicious. The skin is very useful for making lures because of its iridescent color, and it holds up like leather. All right. At the end there, had something hit my Goby, literally tore it apart. I mean, just look at that. Something cut right into it, took the paddle tail off, ripped the belly open. Look at that. All that's the inside of the jig right there. Okay, YouTubers, Scuba Chris. I just adapted the Water Wolf 1.1 camera. Yesterday when I came here, it was splashing too much on the surface. I couldn't get the fish that were hitting to show up correctly in the video. Today, what I did is, this part here is the camera part. I put the cap back on. I added a heavier ingot weight, so instead of using a 9 grams, I use a 15 grams. On the back end over here, that goes towards the main line, I actually added on a ½ ounce lead egg. So from what I can see today doing the retrievals, it did go just under the water, meaning subsurface, without splashing on the surface. So hopefully that will create better videos in the future. Unfortunately, we didn't catch anything today. We caught quite a few fish yesterday and got quite a few hits that came off. So hopefully this will work. Thank you.
big difference from yesterday. Wow. Okay, got my setup rigged up a little differently. See what happens first cast in the morning. Well, it's not splashing on the surface, which is a good sign. That's what I wanted. So I think we found our answer.